Hello everyone, this is my second video. The first one that I did a while ago, it dealt with the two theories of disease. And of course we were talking about Louis Pasteur and Béchamp. Now Louis Pasteur, I should just mention one thing about him, that he was, of course he was a very famous Frenchman. He was a kind of a rock star of the time. But he wasn't 100% honest when it came to his scientific research. I won't get into it, but suffice it to say that he did a bit of plagiarizing and some such. Anyway, as we all know today, we know his name because of pasteurization of milk. And in fact, if you ever wanted to drink raw milk, well, you wouldn't be able to. The authorities make sure that you can't. There is a way, though, if in case you're interested in the topic, you can actually own a cow and then drink the milk because it's your cow, right? But it's not really practical for most people in the city. But some people actually buy a cow and have someone look after it in the valley, I've heard. Not that I'm really interested in that, but some people really believe that raw milk is the cat's meow. Sorry about that. Anyway, so let's get on to the next topic, which is Koch's postulates. What is that? Well, that's actually a fellow by the name Robert Koch, a German fellow in the 1890s, I believe. He came up with this set of postulates that must be met if you're trying to detect if a disease is contagious, or in fact, if there is a bug, virus, germ, okay? So there are 4 points that will clarify that. And number 1, the germ must be found in a sick but not a healthy individual. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, the germ must be isolated, or the virus, as the case may be. And number 3, then once you isolate the virus or the germ, you inoculate a person that is well, that is not sick with that particular disease. And if that person gets sick, number 4, then you isolate the virus or germ again from that person. And that isolate must match exactly the original isolate that infected the person. So that's kind of double checking the whole scenario to make sure that, oh yeah, in fact, we're dealing with a virus or germ that causes disease. So that's how it's done. Now it does pose a little bit of a problem today. Now you might think, well, what's the relevance? It's a historical kind of thing. It has nothing to do with today. Well, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but you'll have to figure it out. The fact is that the virus isolation has actually not been done when it comes to a lot of the modern diseases that we are quite familiar with, like from polio on. They've actually never been able to isolate the virus. Now, it's commonly stated in various bits of literature here and there that it has been done, but no one can actually find the paper that shows that it was done. Now, we hear about the genome of, say, COVID-19 and whatever, but the problem is that there is no pure isolation of the virus so that you could then determine what the genome looks like. They only end up with bits of genetic material that, you know how gene splicing and all that sort of stuff, goes. There's no virus isolate in the first place. So then how could you make a genome from something that hasn't been isolated? So anyway, this is just to get you thinking a little bit. So You don't have to be upset because I'm coming up with some crazy theory. A lot of people actually talk about these things. Now, I would challenge you at the end of the story. I would pose this challenge. Just think of yourself as a regular good Catholic in the time of Galileo. Now, Galileo came up with a new idea, and it was the heliocentric view of the cosmos, of the universe, rather than the geocentric one, which was the particular zeitgeist, the ethos that everybody believed that. So today we have a lot of things that everyone believes, and well, I can name quite a few things that have been proven in the last 50 to 100 years to be entirely incorrect after further research has been done. So you shouldn't make any assumptions about things that you know for sure. You should always have a bit of doubt in your minds. Is this really, really true? So anyway, I just mentioned Galileo because it was such a clear example of something that proved to be totally true. Galileo is right because he doesn't have the luxury of knowing what we know about cosmology. But even our knowledge is not thorough. The cosmos is infinite. There is so much to learn about things, quarks and, you know, dark matter, all kinds of stuff that we don't really know. We think we know something about them, but anyway, I'm just challenging you to think and don't think you know everything. I don't know everything. Anyway, we shall continue. Bye bye.